Look, we've had some big developing news overnight. Victor Osimhen. Potentially this could be the biggest deal of the window, gents. Jamie, I'll start with you. Chelsea, Osimhen, what do you reckon?
Well, there's no doubt that they need a striker. I think we've said that before when we've seen it, Jackson come into the club. So it hasn't quite worked for him at the moment. There's obviously the Lukaku situation. Looks like he's gone to reunite with Conte. Again, he's been with him a few times. So he's been a player who's been linked to the Premier League for a long time with a lot of different clubs, Osimhen, and I'm just delighted that it looks like he's come to the Premier League. I hope it is Chelsea, because I think the other option for him was to go to Saudi, and I think he's, too high quality of a player to do that, certainly at this age. So hopefully we can get to see him in the Premier League.
Ivan Toney, is it the potential alternative that we think Chelsea looked at, Jamie? Premier League experience there. I mean, either way, I suppose Chelsea are looking to get someone strong up top.
Yeah, and the same with Toney. I'd say the same. I want to try and keep him in the Premier League. I'm not too fussed exactly where he goes, but I think he's got a situation where he could be looking at going to Saudi. Now, listen, we understand that came into obviously the game 12 months ago, and the revenue for the players is mouth-watering. So I can understand that the heads get turned, but fingers crossed, Toney and Osimhen will be in the Premier League at 12 o'clock tonight.
Yeah, so that's the incomings. And Gary, we're expecting to see Raheem Sterling leave Chelsea. Manchester United and Arsenal have been touted as potential destinations. How would you feel about Raheem Sterling at Old Trafford?
I love Raheem Sterling, worked with him obviously very closely with England when I was there. I'm not quite sure at the moment why Manchester United would see that as a piece of business. Just looking at their squad, they've got obviously players they need to try and get the best out of. They've got Ahmad, Garnacho, Anthony and Rashford who already play in those areas. Now, obviously, if they're losing faith in one or some of those players, then maybe they would sign Raheem Sterling. But it doesn't strike me at this moment in time as being an essential signing for Manchester United. Like I said, they've got 4 players in those areas that they need to play into form and get going themselves.
Gary, can you see Sterling going somewhere and totally sort of getting his career back on track? I mean, Arsenal have been mentioned as well as a team. I mean, he's clearly, you said you've worked with him so closely, as you say, he's clearly got bags of ability.
Yeah, Arsenal have got Jesus, Martinelli and Trossard who can play on that left side. They've obviously got Saka on the right side who's so reliable and ever present. Again, it doesn't stand out and strike me as being something that makes sense, but I can see why Chelsea want him out, and obviously the situation in the last couple of weeks means that I suspect they're desperate to get him out in the next sort of 10, 12 hours. But, Raheem Sterling isn't someone that's going to be bullied by Chelsea. If it's not right for him, then he won't go. So I suspect that they may have to, obviously, they may end up with him come Monday, and that they're going to have to sort of shake hands and get on with it for the next 6 months at least. But like I say, I don't think Raheem Sterling's going to be sort of pushed out of the club to somewhere where he doesn't want to go. The Arsenal United ones don't seem to make sense to me at this moment in time. But he's a very good player and would be obviously he would strengthen their squad, but they've already got strength in those areas.
Another player that we've been talked about quite a lot, Gary, at Manchester United is Jadon Sancho. Looks like he could be on the move as well. Chelsea look like they're pushing to sign him. Do you think he has a point to prove?
Every player has a point to prove, but what we're seeing here from Chelsea and Manchester United is basically them trying to clean up their poor recruitment from previous transfer windows. And you're trying to get players out, and the players got leverage. The players got some strength because they know they're on massive money, big wages, length left on the contracts, and they're not going to be shoved out the door easily. And the clubs are going to have to pay for those mistakes that they've made, and the players are going to want compensation for that. And they're also those 2 players you've mentioned, they've got pride, they've got ego, they want to play at sort of top level clubs and be competing. So it's not going to be easy for those clubs. They're going to have to support the player, I think, in going out, and the fans won't like that. Maybe people in sort of industry don't like that, but the reality of it is when you sign 4 and 5 year contracts on the types of money, and Manchester United chased Jadon Sancho for 2 years. They hunted him down. It was a public chase as well. And obviously it's not worked out with Erik ten Hag in this last 12 to 15 months. And, he needs to leave, obviously, to play football, but it's not as easy as that.
Jamie, what about Liverpool? Your team, of course. I mean, they got Chiesa over the line yesterday. It looks like good signing for a good fee as well. Did you think that there might be a few more arrivals at Anfield, or Arne Slot's first window, or are you happy with the business they've done?
I mean, I think the 2 deals that they've done, I'm pleased with them getting those in. They got the goalkeeper in, and obviously that's one for the future. He's seen as probably one of the best young goalkeepers around. I think the Chiesa deal is fantastic. And I think in all the time that Mo Salah's been at the club, he stands out that much. He's so durable. He never misses games. That Liverpool have never quite had anybody to fill in that role when he's not been there. Even last season, when you look at the players who played there, I think Joss at the times played there, or maybe Diaz. All of Liverpool's forwards all seem a lot more comfortable on the left. So I think Chiesa coming in initially will be back up for Mo Salah. We know he's got the situation with his contract, so who knows where that will go. But I think in Chiesa, I think when you go back to the Euros when Italy beat England in that final, I think we were looking at a 60, 70 million pound player at that time. He had a big injury after that, an ACL. But last season, looking at his minutes and appearances, it wasn't too bad. He still played a lot of games last season. So I think it's an absolute snip. I think it's a great deal for Liverpool. And I think I was speaking to Gary the other day about when they won the treble in '99 and them having 4 strikers. But this is the same in some ways, in that the way the game's moved now, teams play with 3 strikers or 3 attacking players, and Liverpool have got 6. So it's just a like for like. So there's great backup. There's going to be a lot of, I would imagine, rotation. Players not always playing 90 minutes as well. So I think it's a really good deal. I think that Liverpool are still short at, well, not short in terms of numbers, but maybe in terms of quality at centre-back and at the holding midfield position. And we know that Arne Slot feels that, because there was obviously a deal that fell down, obviously, with Zubamendi a few weeks ago. So they're definitely still 2 areas that Liverpool will try and fill. But I don't think they will do anything reckless today or panic or be buying someone at the last minute. I think if something comes, a player who they really want for the right price, they will do it. But I don't know to be getting involved with a sort of bidding war, or a player comes out of nowhere that you wouldn't expect.
I saw Trent and Van Dijk on a free next summer.
Yeah, I'd love to go to Man United, I can show you that.
You know what, Gary, you just stole my thunder. I was about to ask Jamie there. Is actually maybe more important than incomings, the futures of the likes of Trent and Virgil, Mo Salah as well. Is that top of Arne Slot's agenda, do you think, Jamie? Get those guys tied down?
I would think so. I think the most important one is Trent, because of his age. He's obviously there's going to be more longevity there in terms of staying on Liverpool if he signs that contract. I think the other 2, I think they're at a stage of their career where obviously any club in the world would want them, but there's not many clubs better than Liverpool who give you a realistic chance of winning trophies, or a great chance of winning a Champions League as well. So Mo Salah and Virgil van Dijk at that age, maybe it could be a situation where they want a real big payday at the end of the career when they go to maybe Saudi or something like that. I understand players at that age doing that, but I think if it wasn't that, I'm still pretty confident Liverpool would get those deals done. I'm more worried about Trent, obviously what happened last weekend in terms of coming off and the situation, looking a little bit frustrated, and I'm just not quite sure what the hold-up is with that, because I'm sure Liverpool have offered them as much as they possibly can, and I would imagine the wages that Mo Salah and Virgil van Dijk are getting themselves, and there's obviously a lot of talk of Ramsey in the back end. So I am a little bit more worried now about Trent. I was more confident about him maybe 6 months ago, but now it feels like it's shifted to me, and that's the one that worries me a little bit. And why he's not signed yet.
Yeah, fair point, mate.
Quiet window for Liverpool, but Gary, it's been a busy window for United. We're expecting another incoming in Manuel Ugarte a bit later. What do you make of this transfer window by Erik ten Hag and the quality of the players coming in?
I mean, the quality and how he fits them into the squad and how they develop as a team is obviously still to be seen. I think we'll work that out over the next couple of months. I think that they seem to have been a lot smoother in the transfer window and got people in a lot calmer with price tags that I would say are more reflective of sort of what they should be paying, rather than in the past I've always felt they've overpaid, they've looked desperate, they've sort of made decisions based on sometimes even results in the first part of the season. Ugarte, I think I get, because of the fact that we've talked about Manchester United being easy to play against. We've talked about United being open in midfield. The likes of Eriksen and sort of Fernandes in the last 12 months, and Mount, even McTominay have all round forward and exposed Casemiro being left on his own, Maine who's come in. So having support, sort of someone who's got a bit more energy and can get about the pitch and put his foot in, I think will make them more solid. But the big challenge for Erik ten Hag, I think the club have, to be fair, done the business well. I don't think he can complain at all about what they've done for him this summer. I think they've done well with it. We now need to see performance levels rise. We need to see the team sort of evolving into something that resembles, to start with, a Champions League-based team, which United obviously were well short of last year, and then obviously they can build from there. That this moment in time, they're not sort of challenging for the title. We saw that at Brighton last week. We're still making mistakes, but in the transfer window, in terms of how the sort of top end of the club are working, it does look a lot more thoughtful, a lot more calm.